Welcome to Easy Learning.
Exercise number 8. The petitioner contends that respondent number 2 has maliciously got the FIR registered because if statement of 4th October 2018 was the first information, then it was always open to the police to lay a trap in the case, especially because they had 6 days till 10th January 2018 when the sum of rupees 2 million is stated to have been paid by the accused to some person. This payment being in continuation of and being a part of the alleged payments of rupees 30 million. The court finds the said argument untenable because setting up of a trap is not mandatory for an investigating agency. It is always open for the agency to take appropriate and prudent steps on the basis of such information as may have come to it. Whether a trap is to be laid is a call for the agency to take. The statement dated 4th October 2018 was about what was happening in the investigation, whereas the subsequent alleged payment of rupees 2 million was an additional fact which was disclosed to the police in the complaint. The court is of the view that complaint filed by accused, which largely reiterates the substance of the statement made on 4th October 2018, the matter would require to be investigated. The said statement was regarding the conduct of the investigating officer to a court, whereas the complaint is the first information to a police officer. Hence, registration of the FIR on the basis of specific complaint, which largely reiterates the previous statement, is not irregular or illegal. The letter of the CVC largely contains general directions and is not related to the present case. The court is unable to agree that the freedom and independence of the police to investigate into an FIR registered by it could be impeded by such directions. The petitioner's contention that the FIR has been backdated and documents have been fabricated to falsely implicate them is not borne out from the records. The court's attention is drawn to the handing over and taking over memo between the police officers. The said document shows that a letter had been issued by the DSP on 15th October 2018 requesting issuance of CD book for the purpose of investigation of case. The clerk concerned has given his remarks on the letter that case diary books are not available in the store. Logically, if the said remark has been made apropos the said request oblique letter of DSP, it cannot be said to be antedated because the case was registered on 15th October 2018. The petitioner has further argued that there was a 5 days delay in uploading the FIR on the website. Hence, it is in clear contravention of law. The court would note that the Bar Association provides ample scope to deal with circumstances such as the present when it is not possible for uploading of FIRs on the website of the police within 72 hours, as also held in the legislation that the copies of the FIR, unless the offense is sensitive in nature, like sexual offenses, offenses pertaining to insurgency, terrorism, and of that category, and such other offenses should be uploaded on the police website. And if there is no such website on the official website of the state government within 24 hours of the registration of the first information report, so that the accused or any person connected with the same can download the FIR and file appropriate application before the court as per law for redressal of his grievances. It may be clarified here that in case there is connectivity problems due to geographical location, or there is some other unavoidable difficulty, the time can be extended up to 48 hours. The said 48 hours can be extended maximum up to 72 hours, and it is only relatable to connectivity problems due to geographical location. Similarly, the word sensitive, apart from the other aspects which may be thought of being sensitive by the competent authority as stated herein before, would also include concept of privacy regard being had to the nature of the FIR. The examples given with regard to the sensitive cases are absolutely illustrative and are not exhaustive. The police considers the case to be of a sensitive nature, hence it choose not to upload it and supplied a copy of the same to the trial court. The petitioner's letter dated 24th August 2018, written to the Cabinet Secretary, complains about what he considered a concerted malicious campaign against him by the Director and Joint Director of the Enforcement Directorate to tarnish his image by unverified and unsubstantiated information being leaked to the media, etc. He complained that this was with the intention to demoralize him and harass him, and the director was out to spoil his annual performance appraisal report for the year of 2018, and some disgruntled elements were planning to file a public interest litigation against the petitioner on the basis of baseless allegations. The petitioner claimed that he had an unblemished record and had handled various sensitive matters, but attempts were being made to demotivate him and to damage his reputation and career. The petitioner also referred to a note containing information to the effect that attempts were being made by respondent number 2 to influence the investigation in a pending case. The influence was allegedly by way of a telephone call by respondent number 2 to the petitioner to the effect that accused be not examined. It was the view of the petitioner that accused had managed to influence respondent number 2 to avoid any coercive action against him by the police. The note also alludes to large sums of monies having been extorted from accused or otherwise given by him to influence ongoing investigation. The note does not refer to any direct involvement of respondent number 2 except for the alleged telephone call to the petitioner on SIP phone. Although complaint of accused lists a certain sequence of events and details some facts, it does not mention any direct interaction with the petitioners apropos rupees 50 million or any promise of leniency towards him. It is not known whether other co-accused persons spoke to the petitioner or to any other officer of the police in the presence of such officers, whether the said persons ever had any conversation with the police officials or public servant concerned is to be ascertained. In view of the preceding discussion and the dicta of the Supreme Court, the court is not persuaded that the case warrants quashing of the case in hand. The grounds of malefides of respondent number 2 in registering the FIR are not made out, nor can the allegations against the petitioner be conclusively ruled out at this stage. In view of the above, the petitions are dismissed. The interim order stands vacated. In the interest of justice, the investigations must come to an end as soon as practicable. Full stop.